My people, I greet you all today and I bring you glad tidings. My people, my name is Ben, aka Benny E. Davis. My people, I'm here again today to discuss a very important topic again as usual. And today's topic is on docility. I repeat, today's topic, my people, is on what? Docility. I'm sure quite a good number of us knows what is docility. Docility means simply when a person or people decides to keep their mouth shut in the midst of atrocities, in the midst of wrongdoings, in the midst of leadership not being accountable, and the people decide not to say a word, the people decide not to act, the people decide not to question authority. That is the full meaning of docility. And so today's topic is going to be on docility and its impact on governance. I'll take that again. Today's topic, my people, it's on docility and the impact it has on governance. Now, what is docility? Before I forget, let me quickly say my name remains Ben, aka Benny Davis. For those of you who have seen us here before, you do know why we come here. We're here to always remind our people, sensitize our people, galvanize our people, and let them know that they need to wake up to their responsibility, which is asking questions about how they are being governed. In this case, leadership confrontation. Confront your leaders, ask them relevant questions, and they are obliged to answer you because that's why they're there. So today, my people, we want to talk about why a person or people are docile and the impacts of this docility on governance. Now, it says docility refers to a passive, a submissive attitude by citizens towards political leadership and public policies. It's when people accept poor governance without resistance. That is docility. When the leadership are not doing well and nobody seems to be confronting them, the citizens are not asking relevant questions. The citizens are not pushing to say, Mr. Governor, Mr. President, why is this and that so? That is docility. And when the people are not doing that, it leads to what? Poor governance. Because the people are not resisting. The people are not being confrontational in terms of asking questions, in terms of trying to get their leaders to sit tight, so to speak. So the impact of docility on governance is our topic today, and this impact is huge, my people. Now, docility, it breeds impunity in leadership. Yes, docility breeds impunity in leadership. You say when citizens don't speak up or demand accountability, corrupt leaders feel emboldened to steal. I'll take that again. You say when citizens don't speak up and demand accountability from their leaders, corrupt leaders feel emboldened to steal, to lie, to manipulate without fear of consequences. I'm sure you all understand what I just said. Now, when citizens don't speak up, when citizens don't challenge authorities, it makes the leadership to begin to steal. It makes them feel comfortable stealing. It makes them feel comfortable lying. And it makes them feel comfortable manipulating the entire system because why? They fear no consequences. So power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it will never, according to Frederick Douglass. He did say in one of his books, he said, power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it will never. So, my people, it is very clear that docility has a very, very serious impact on our governance. Because in that part of the world, in Africa, especially in Nigeria, we seem not to be confronting our leaders. We seem to be very aback. We seem to sit tight, allowing them to do things that they want to do without nobody is questioning them. And that has led to bad governance over the years in Nigeria. Now, docility also weakens democratic institutions, like what's currently going on in Nigeria, where part of the country is being ruled by military, by the man who is currently in Nasser Rock, with without, meeting up with the constitution of the country. He went ahead to declare a state of emergency in River State against the constitution of the country. And the people are not speaking up. That's the docility we're talking about. And such docility can also lead to bad governance. That's what we're saying here. It can also lead to weak institutions. So when the people are not speaking up, when people are not acting, when people are not doing what they are meant to do, the people are docile. And in a docile society, leadership takes time to commit all sorts of atrocities. Now, a silent citizen, as they say, leads to weak checks and balances, allowing government to bypass laws and injustice. A silent citizen leads to weak checks and balances, allowing government to bypass laws and institutions. That is also very correct. When the citizens are silent, that is the docility we are talking about, it leads to weak checks and balances on the parts of government and allow government to bypass laws and institutions, because the government is already comfortable doing what they are doing. Believe me, that the people are not confrontational. That believing that the people won't ask questions. So they do everything they do with impunity, because they know that at the end of the day, there won't be any consequences. But when the people start acting and start asking questions, then the government will begin to sit tight, knowing that, oh, these people ask this and that question. Like what's currently happening in Nigeria now, for example, in 2023, that election was stolen from the Nigerian people, and the Nigerian people just went to bed to sleep. Everybody was waiting for Peter Obi to come and be at the forefront of the confrontation. No, never again should we allow that to happen. That is the docility we're talking about here. Somebody cannot just come and steal your thing from you, and then you just go to bed and sleep and say, okay, that's fine. You have just given room for that individual to even steal more in future. But when that individual is confronted, when that individual is told in clear terms that what he or she has done is wrong, I can assure you it's human phenomenon that individual will be mindful of such an action next time around. Next time he tries to do that, he will know that people will come and confront him, and he'll be careful with doing what he's doing. So docility also encourages corruption and poor service delivery. So when the people decide not to speak up, when the people decide to keep muting everything they see and do with their leaders, it makes the leaders to begin to, it leads to a serious level of corruption, which is exactly the case in Nigeria today. The Nigerian leaders are about, if not the most corrupt people I know in the entire world. So that has been because the people are docile, the people are not speaking up. And so the leadership now feels that they can't do anything with impunity and get away with it. So docility is another very serious matter we should begin to look at in Nigeria and some parts of Africa. Docility is another very serious, I said, serious setback to us as a people. Because when you don't speak, like I said before, if you don't tell a community leader that he or she is actually, doing rubbish, he or she will believe that whatever he or she is doing is right. So people must speak up to tell leaders, listen, this and that is wrong. It's not disrespect, I know in that part of the world, we see challenging leaders as disrespect. But in today's world, leaders will understand that that's not disrespect. That's people's, right to express themselves, which is allowed anywhere in the world anyway. So when the people are docile, it leads to corruption and poor services. Now, no outcry means roads remain bad, hospitals lack drugs, and public funds disappear unnoticed. When people don't cry out, when people don't speak up, when people don't challenge their leaders, it leads to what? Bad roads, it leads to lack of hospital equipment and drugs, and it leads to bad public funds. It leads to public funds disappearing anyhow. In Nigeria, for example, leadership strives on the silence of the governed. Exactly what I've just said. Professor Patu told me some time ago, made this assertion. He said, in Nigeria, leadership strives on the silence of the governed. Who are the governed? The people. The people are the governed. The people have decided not to speak up. The people have remained silent. And that's why the leaders have decided to what? Strive. Why the people are silent? And then do what is it that they are doing, which is stealing the country dry. Now, docility also kills active citizenship. I repeat, docility has a way of buying active citizenship. When citizens stop asking questions, they lose the ability to what? To organize, to protest, or vote wisely. Democracy dies like that in silence. I'll take that again. When citizens stop speaking up, stop asking questions, they lose the ability to what? Organize themselves. They lose the ability to what? Protest, or even vote wisely. Democracy, in that instance, is gradually being silent. So, what are citizens? What is citizens docile? What are citizens docile? The reason why citizens are docile is that they fear of oppression, loss of hope in the system, poverty and survival struggles, ignorance of their what? Rights. The major reason why citizens are docile, the remote docile, is that they fear oppression from these leadership. Like in the case of Nigeria, you talk, you go. You no talk, you stay under Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So that's oppression. And so that's why people are scared to talk. So loss of hope in the system also leads to docility. Poverty and survival struggle also leads to when people are struggling on how to make ends meet, how to feed family. They don't have much time to talk again. That's what the government is doing. It's a systematic way of silencing the people. And ignorance of their rights too is another major factor why people don't speak up. Why docility has become what's one of our biggest problems in Nigeria and in Africa, because people most times don't even know their rights. So their right, if it's being infringed upon, they don't even know, and that's really sad. So call to action. Call to action. The call to action is that let's start asking questions. Let's demand answers too. Join civil groups if it's possible. Engage your reps. Speak up. A docile citizen is a defeated one. The price to pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. So let us wake up, Nigerians. Come 2027, let us not remain docile. In Nigeria, docility has allowed corruption, bad roads, ASU strikes, and insecurity to continue unchecked. Let's change that. Governance starts with you. Governance is active citizens' participation. When the citizens are not actively participating in governance, that is docility, and governance will go to where? Go to bed and sleep. And that's what is happening in Nigeria. So, my dear good people of Nigeria, and maybe in some parts of Africa, docility is and remains one of our biggest problems. We don't speak up, we don't challenge constitutional authority, we don't confront them, and that is why over time, they now see whatever it is that they're doing, having a field day doing all sorts of atrocities, corruption, stealing, budget, stealing money made for budgetary and all that. So no thanks to docility at all. 2027, we are going to ensure that we are not docile anymore. We are going to speak up. Anyone who comes to steal our mandate, we should confront that individual. 2027, there's a slogan going on in town now. You rig, you buy. You don't rig, you are safe. Until I come away again, my people, my name remains Ben. For those of you who have heard this message and like it, share it, like it, comment on it. What do you think about docility in Nigeria? Has it been very, very impactful in terms of bad governance or not? Please do let us know. Until we come away again, my people, do have a wonderful day, and cheers for now.